Yep, 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 yep. Um, one thing is for sure, one thing is for sure. Um, no matter what it is that you may be going through, in terms of like, you may be thinking that you're losing, right? I just want to talk about the fact that sometimes you tend to think that you're losing. You know what I'm saying? And in most cases, it turns out to just be an awakener. It that like in most cases, it may seem that you're losing, you know, um, yet you losing is just an awakening. Like all the unfortunate, all the unfortunate things that take place and all that, they're really not entirely made to like suppress you or whatever. They're just made to grow you. Now, you know, experiencing all this anecdotally so. Uh, the more that you want to do things to please people around you is the more that you set yourself back. You know, the more you say or the more you think that you're supposed to impress people is the more that you set yourself back even more. Like you set yourself back even more if you have a tendency to be overly too relying. I mean to say, if you tend to too overly relying on people and their opinions and what they think about you and all that, if you tend to be too reliant on that, you don't really live life to the fullest. You don't really get to live life to the fullest. You don't really get to, you know, savor every moment of life if you always are the one to want to conform and, you know, look onto people who don't really care about you if you're like all the time, because I do admit that being a human being is like really something that is normal. That is to say, you having relationships, you making getting into those friendships, you getting into those interactions, you getting into those partnerships, it's necessary. But at the same time, it's like if you want to do things because you if at the same time it's like if you want to do things because you want to please people, you want to satisfy people rather than satisfying your own ambition and the extent of your own ambition. It just only suggests that you don't want to, even invest in the progression, in your progression. Stop yapping. It's really kindly the second or kindly two. If you're the type of person who wants to do things because you represent a crew. Let me make an example. Maybe you represent a crew, uh a gang slanging crew, a slanging crew, like, and then like you wanna go on the internet maybe and show off guns. You're gonna if you wanna get on the internet and show off, you're gonna sabotage yourself. That is to say, if you wanna be the type of dude or the type of guy or the type of person to wanna, yeah, 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 man. I'm just either way, my nigga. I'm not even trying to say that you in some sort of gang, but what I'm trying to say is that if you're the type of person to wanna do things because you wanna prove something to your friends, or you wanna prove something, or you wanna be more appealing to people, I'm talking about the fact that you are gonna find yourself in a whole bunch of trouble. Jessica Sandisiwe Maputse. Welcome. Thank you very much. Um oh, okay. Cool, cool. No, but either way, I'm just it's a passing thought that I have, or it's a passing thought that I've been having, and I thought that I just talk about it and just reminisce on it and just, you know what I'm saying, just expound a bit further on it. That is to say, uh, because I myself have experienced the self sabotage inflicted. You know what I'm saying? If you're the type of person to want to do things because you want to seem more appealing, sometimes you don't have to be really appealing, bro. You just have to be yourself and just do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because you really are gonna sabotage a whole bunch of things. I mean, I made a why am I not showing my face? It's a thing that I do. It's a thing that I do. I just talk on the mic, and I just hope that somebody is listening. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that I'm making sense. Feel me? So either way, Jessica, it's about utilizing what we have. Anyways, I'm not finna force um, producing content as far as what I'm using is concerned. I'm not gonna force it. I'm just gonna have to just utilize what I have. You know what I'm saying? I do go live, with my face showing, but for instance, now I'm just sort of in a very awkward position to just be showing my face and to be freely moving around, and I'm sort of in an awkward position. Just gonna have to bear with me, Jessica. Right. So real talk. If you want to be the type of person or the type of individual to want to do things because you want to please friends, you want to please society, you want to please a certain group that you feel maybe you belong, young Tola, you're gonna sabotage everything, bro. You're gonna sabotage yourself, bro. Chances are you're gonna take the blame for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not even your intention, it just ends up being like that. Because yeah, you're for your friends, you're for your gang, even though some of you guys are not in gangs, but you're for your friends, you're for your gang, you're for your clique, and then you just go on and you show off, you just show off, you become sloppy, and you just end up exposing things, and in you having exposed that whatever it is, that is to say, whether it pertains a crew, whether it pertains a gang, whether it pertains friendship, whether it pertains a relationship. Um, I have about six siblings, if I'm not mistaken, six. Not of the same mother and father, of course. That is to say, um, on my auntie's side, brothers. I just call them brothers because that's what they literally are. Yeah, around 6 or 7, something like that. Something like that. I'm not even sure, but it's like, not from my mom and dad's side, of course, Jessica. But from my aunties, right? My aunties have their own kids. My aunties have their own families. So enough about my personal life. Uh, so it's really just self sabotage, bro. It's very good to have a group. It's very good to have people that you identify with, but at the same time, is very misleading if you wanna step out of the light of who you really are. It becomes very confusing, and it becomes very overwhelming. You pretty much end up not being able to handle yourself. Even forget the friendship, forget the association, forget the people that you know. Not to say that you must be antisocial. That's not what I'm implying. But you see, you get into relationships, you get into friendships, you get into all kinds of interactions with the wrong sort of like outlook on it. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna, like, as in, be the type of dude or the type of lady who wants to sabotage themselves via wanting people to desperately accept you. I believe that's what I'm trying to say. If you are the type to want to associate with people desperately, in most cases, if you are desperate, you sabotage yourself, and you really just wreck your mind, and you just wreck your whole thinking. Sometimes I think that's the problem. I think that's the mistake. Maybe it's human impulse, maybe it's human proclivity. I don't know, human nature. If I may put it in more mm, formal context. I don't know, informal context, I mean, or whatever the case may be, informal, formal context. It's human nature. It's human proclivity, but we tend to just be so desperate for everything. We're desperate for attention. We're desperate for other people's resources that are not our own. It's a whole bunch of things, and it's very confusing when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, instead of being individual, we wanna be blaming other people, and we wanna be like shifting the account, or the accountability, I mean to say, to other people. You know, and yeah, I am gonna say it. Sometimes it's like, okay, cool. As men, we understand that women are like emotional and whatever, and like their emotions are out of control or whatever, and of which that's why women need men. And as much as like some women want to say that um some niggas out here are like broke and whatever, and like they don't have resources or any of that, many of our modern women do need men. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's a matter of like the natural proclivities. It all has to do with the natural proclivities. Speaking of proclivities and impulses and human nature and all that. So it's no doubt, the opposite genders need each other. Feel me? The opposite genders need each other, because niggas are, males in most cases are, of course, taking it from myself. Males are easily, it's easy for a male to be swallowed up in his own uh uh distraction. In terms of like his mental instability, it's very easy for a male to find himself engulfed in his own mental problems. And as for women, bro, I find women amazing, bro. Women are so resourceful, bro. You know what I'm saying? Women go through the most toughest of situations, of course, because I grew up in real life. I didn't grow up in no fantasies. You feel me? So what I've been witnessing ever since I was like a kid, bro, women are so amazing, bro. Like, women are so resourceful, bro. Women are able to do certain tasks that men will never do, no matter how much men try. You know what I'm saying? I keep on hearing this comparison, in the modern masculine feminine space, of like, women, are weaker than men. Women are not physically strong as men are, rather, and all that. And those comparisons are correct. But at the same time, I really feel like it's a matter of like the innate capabilities of the opposite. I don't feel like it's a matter of like physical strength, more physical strength, less physical strength. I believe that it's a matter of like the innate capabilities of both genders. Because in as much as males and females are so different, and so biologically different, and so different in like masculinity and all that, and I believe that when it comes to really identifying the quality of like an individual, not the gender, is a matter of considering the innate capabilities. Because yeah, I mean, a girl or a woman may be pretty as a doll, but still, it's like you don't really have to consider the fact that they're as pretty as a doll, and that's all they've got. If you are to be an open-minded type of person, and you know, as a female who's open-minded and very intelligent, you won't just be looking at a guy's abs and then a guy's muscles. That's not all that you're gonna be looking at. That's literally what you're not gonna be looking at, and like, so it's like it's a matter of like, shifting perspective, and it's a matter of being flexible within the range of what your perspicacity could end up being. So it's all about being flexible and just being reflexive. So I mean, men are different from women, women are different from men, yada yada. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is true. But what of the innate capabilities of the individuals? You understand what I'm trying to say? Because I keep on hearing this comparison, this pitting against male against female dynamic in the feminine masculine space, in the modern feminine masculine space. That is to say, the different platforms. I keep on hearing that. And it's something that some of us already knew. You know, shout out to these guys who on these platforms who be trying to, you know, put us on game, because even I myself, I'm put on game. It's not that I'm really sure of any other things that I'm talking about, but I sort of like refer, I refer to them, in terms of like how they see it, how they frame it, and I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, and then I sort of break it down, right? Dismantle it down. Yeah, of course, right? And then I break it down, and I'm like, okay, and then which is why I've been talking about the things that I've been talking right now, as far as like um, men and women, the comparison, what's really supposed to be considered. Feel me? And that is the innate capabilities of every individual, not the gender, but the innate forget physical strength, more physical strength than the other. Forget all that. But then the innate capabilities. Feel me? Because women, bro, damn, my nigga, damn, real talk. And what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, I think that I was talking about the fact that if you if you have a tendency as an individual, and I'm just gonna highlight this again and again and again, because I keep on thinking about this, because something happened to me today, and I'm talking about this because I'm basing it off a stream that I had on Big O Live. I had a stream on Big O Live today, and I ended up doing something minor, and I guess I shouldn't have done it. You know, I was sort of rolling up and filmed it, and the admin didn't like that somehow. The admin guys, they didn't really like that. They were not impressed by that. Seeing that I'm growing on Big O, and I keep on accumulating fans, yet I'm doing such things. So I guess that is based on that, because I keep on growing on Big O and accumulating fans. I don't know how. I'm still asking myself why and how, but I guess that I'll never really get answers. So I'm talking about the fact that I've been talking about the fact that um as a person, as an individual, not as a gender, if you have a tendency of sabotaging yourself, that is to say, by means of doing things in order to be appealing. No, but I have to be. No, but I have to be appealing. Mm, you're gonna regret it, bruh. You're gonna regret it, bro. That's what I did today on Big O. Basically, I was rolling up, and I showed some scenes that I wasn't supposed to show. Basically, and the admin guys were losing it, and the I think what I got back was a warning. I think a warning was issued to me. So just like how every company would, if you flop, you're issued a warning. Just like how every company would, guys. If you flop, you're issued a warning. So I was issued a warning today on Bigo Live. You know, of course, a warning that resulted in a 1 day ban. I mean, in a 1 day ban. You know, the warning that was issued to me because I was booked, right? So it was a they told me about something like a 1 day ban, and they mentioned that if I continue such behavior, further punishment is gonna be taken. Meaning that they probably vele gonna vele obliterate the channel and obliterate my account. So I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to be doing things anymore because I'm appealing. Because I'm gonna be trained. You see, guys, don't be doing things because you're trained because you are appealing, guys. Because you're gonna make progress 1 day, and then when you make progress, wherever that may be, you're gonna be you're without a doubt you're gonna sabotage yourself, bro. Like as in, if you do something because you want to seem appealing to friends, or because you want to seem appealing to family, or because you want to seem appealing to whatever party that may be there within that given time and instance, you're gonna be in the position to sabotage yourself in the long run. And so, because hey, me dog, hey, I also did the same thing, dog. I sabotaged myself, dog, today, dog. I streamed something that I was not supposed to stream about on BO Live. I mean, that I was not supposed to film on stream. That's what I mean to say. I streamed and I filmed something that I was not supposed to film midstream. So that triggered a whole lot of, you know, the big guys, the big bosses are upset. The big bosses are upset. They're like, yeah, yeah, Crash, we trust you. We believe in you, Crash. You recently got on Pigo Live, but you are accumulating fans now, like crazy, Crash. But you are flopping. So today, hey, I received the ban. They were like, we are banning you for 1 day because we found scenes that were promoting, you know, DRU DRUG. We found content that promotes DRUG trafficking. I don't know. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube. I don't mean to use any form of profanity. I don't want to. I don't intend to. I try my best. I try my best to not portray things that are profane on platforms. You know what I'm saying? So I try my best to not be as explicit. You feel me? Because I'm not that business. I'm not about that business. I'm not about that life. You feel me? Being haywire, being out of control, just broadcasting things because I'm gonna be trendy. I'm honestly not about that life, and I guess that Bigo Live opened up my eyes and my mind, and sort of, emphasized that idea that I've been holding, that I'm not the type to film things because I'm gonna be trendy, knowing exactly that I'm gonna cause further damage, in the long run. Because most platforms, I believe, are out of control as far as the as far as the maintaining certain content goes. Not even maintenance, but as far as the not even partial bans, but as far as the bans of certain types of content goes, as far as the ban of certain type of content goes, many platforms are not really excelling. They are very, very, very sloppy, and it really surprised me that even a dating platform, you know, has what it takes to sort of revise. Because Bigo, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bigo is like primarily a dating platform. Before it's even like a platform for like showcasing talent. That it's like a dating talent platform, something like that, or a talent type of platform that incorporates elements of dating, something like that. So imagine if a streaming platform outplays other platforms when it comes to law and regulation. Because Bigo Live, when it comes to law and regulation, Bigo Live will end you, bro. Like, my nigga, I literally got on there, bro, and I did a stream and I filmed a scene that I was not supposed to film. Of course, that scene being like, so. Anyways, besides me and my problems, some of you guys out there who are listening, who before likes now, you know, taking it from me, right, as a lesson because it happened from me from to me, right? I got on Bigo and I just boom within a week I generated about 92 fans. So I had about 92 people following me in like the first week, which is crazy, and I can't even believe that really happened. So, and we keep so having related this incident, because this is an incident right here. I went on stream. I filmed something that I was not supposed to film. Admin didn't like it. The admin guys were so displeased by that that they had to just air me off, completely air me off for the day. So meaning that in the next coming 14 hours or so, I'm not gonna stream anything on Bigo. So seem, I hope that it's a lesson. I hope that it's a lesson from me to you. Because if you have this tendency, be like, yeah, it's gonna please. Be like, yeah, it's gonna please people. It's gonna please people. Fella, I worked hard, bro. I worked hard, bro. Even if it's like, I've had 92 fans. In the first week of me being on the platform, registering, confirming my details and all that, I have like about 92 fans now. 92 people follow me. 92 people are fans of me on Bigo Live. And primarily, Bigo Live is a dating. Before, I think it's a dating slash. I think it's a dating slash talent exhibition type of platform. Bigo Live. So yeah, and Bingo, not to even mention Bingo is sort of fun because you interact with people in real time. It's like crazy, you get to like call people from Russia, and just interact with people. It's very, very interesting. And yeah, real talk, I don't know about some of you guys, but I am never, ever, ever, ever being a person to be desperate for friendship, for acknowledgement, so much that I'm gonna do something that's really bad. Appealing. I'm never ever doing that, bro. I'm never ever again. I'm never going order to be just appealing for likes and for views and whatever. While I know that I'm influencing people in a bad way, yeah, that is sort of messed up when you think about it. You know, you're doing something and you don't care, because you want to trend and because you want to be respected, because you want to get reputation, and you end up not caring at all if you influence kids in a bad way or if you influence other people in a bad way. You end up just being nonchalant and greedy. You just end up thinking about the fact that you want to make money because there are people out here that online that that are so ruthless, bro. They are so ruthless. The things that they promote online, they just want to make money now off people's minds, and bro, it's crazy, dog. It's crazy, dog. And it still puzzles me. Streaming platform, dating platform, surpass other platforms like this because Bigo clearly surpasses other platforms, bro. We're teen and law. Ah, ah. Ngitshela ukuthi, I don't want to be too quaint about it. But rolling up, ngithola, and midstream, I filmed me rolling up, and guess what? The admin guys, bro, they were pissed. Same time, they were pissed, bro. Same time they sent me a message telling me, hey, yo, look, bro, right now you just filmed the scene that is promoting 123 APC. I don't really like that. So because we don't really like that, what you just did now, we're giving you a day, meaning that in the next 24 hours, you're not streaming anything. We're not allowing you to stream anything because you think that this platform, I don't know, ring or something. I guess that's the logic. Yeah, that you must not be in the position to what's this word? Position as a user, as a person, to sully the name of the platform. It seems that as a user, as a streamer, as a creator, as a content creator, you are also liable within your own range of action. So much that you must never be in the position to make the platform seem like it's some sort of promoting platform. Just imagine how strict Bigo is interesting. You see, when I got on Bigo Live the first time, here I was thinking, this platform is totally not regulated. It's regulated, Baba. It's regulated, Baba. It's regulated, Baba. Once you film something that's off, once you just get to film something that seems off, you will. There's this other chick that I was watching. Not even to say I was binging on her, but I was just coincidentally just scrolling past the people filming and people streaming, and then there was this chick that I came across. Not even her only. I take it. There were plenty women that I saw. They seemed to be exhibiting themselves in very inappropriate ways. I hate to admit. So these women, as I continued viewing or being on, I start to notice these women, they don't show as. I was wondering the other week, and then now I film, a scene of me rolling up mid, and then within me filming that scene, same time, they decide, hey, look, bro, we're gonna ban you for 1 day. Oh, ay, 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 ay. So these people from Bigo, they don't play, bro. They don't play, bro. They don't play, bro. And on Bigo, bro, you make lots of fucking money, bro. On Bigo, you make money, bro. You make money. You make money there. You make money, so you make money. So if you want to show things that are inappropriate there, that are uncomfortable, sort of to watch, obvious, but they ban you. I can't say the same for Instagram. How Instagram is flooded with women wearing laces and filming on scene. Instagram. Also, TikTok has this tendency of allowing footage by ladies dressing inappropriately to market themselves, to to pro in the institute of themselves, to be pro in the institute. They always allow that TikTok, to they allow our modern women to be just pro in any institute. I don't want to be too specific. Gotta speak in code these days. You have to speak in code. I learned that from our beloved Hollywood stars, and beloved hosts, that sometimes it's important that you speak in code. So the Instagram, I don't mean to sound like maybe I'm salarying Instagram's name, but it's true. You know, many women are being pros in institutes. You feel me? Many women on Instagram, they're becoming pros in institutes. Yeah, so much that they end up recruiting others, to be part of the institution. You know, because you have to graduate and become a pro in the institution. Yeah, one. So you have to be pro in the institution. Wrong told YouTube. I'm speaking in code. So Instagram and TikTok, they have this tendency, Baba, of literally some platforms these days, about I hate to say it, about they promote people in order to do nothing. They pay people for doing nothing. Many platforms these days, and it's infuriating. But it's at the same time, I'm like, okay, yeah, let me just be here and watch while people are paid for doing nothing, basically. For just walking and strutting in the streets, and then suddenly you paid a whole bunch of money for strutting in the streets only. I mean, there are rappers out here. There are people who play guitar out here. There are people who are so athletic out here. There are people who are so physically strong out here. So much that those people don't really deserve any shine. But then the ones who deserve are the ones with the fake booties, with the fake titties, with the fake mouths, with the fake brows, with everything that's fake, just for strutting, just for walking, just for showing off a butt that's filled with injections. But either way, I don't like for just for niggas who are on roids. I'm just gonna be explicit about that one. For males who are on roids to just get the shine and for having fake bodies, it's whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. There are a whole lot of things that are happening on the internet, bro, that are just and I keep on hearing about the dark web. You feel me? And the dark web, you know, um, how they've explained it to me, of course, while viewing certain clips, is that, the dark web is a place where secrets are, covered, secret operations occur, whatever, whatever, whatever. But then, I swear, dog, the internet, the main internet that we use, it's just too explicit, Baba. It's too explicit. Even the young kids, bro, they grow up so messed up in the head because of some of the things that prevail on many of our social media platforms. Yeah, many of our kids, they grow up emulating all of this nonsensical sort of indoctrinating, uh, 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 this content that's so indoctrinating and so hypnotizing. Ngithola such hypnotic and indoctrinating content that is promoted on social media and on many of our platforms, and it's crazy, bro. It's crazy because even me, for example, I get on my new I get many on yeah, for example, what I'm trying to say is that I get on many of my feeds on the internet, right? Wherever, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, every 60 seconds it's gonna be booty is gonna be flashed. Every 60 seconds booty flashes. And mind you, bro, my algorithm, bro, it's just filled with like scientific stuff and like questions about nature and questions about like cures, natural cures. You feel me? I'm just coming clean right now. So each and every time I'm on Instagram or TikTok, you want to meet an attractive woman? What? Fuck. So wait, I no 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 no. This content that we consume, some of us, many of us, that even our kids consume, that are so compared to our kids are so fragile and innocent, and yet they consume this kind of content on these platforms. I yeah yeah, it's something else, Buffet. It's something else, guys. You know. But real talk, yeah, but now, to the ones that are um, you know, to the ones that are planning businesses, to the ones that are creating, to the ones that are designing, to the ones that are inventing, to the ones that are just productive. Ah, don't ever, 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 ever fall for, friends guilt tripping you into doing things that are gonna sabotage you in the long run. Let me repeat that to some of you who are inventors, creators, designers, builders, architects, that is to say, the physical part of architecture, builders. No matter what you may be, bro. No matter what you may be, bro. You may be an athlete, bro. You may be strong as hell, bro. You may be a boxer. You may be whoever you are. You may be whatever you are. Don't ever allow people to make you do things that are gonna sabotage you. No, yourself. In the end, I mean to say, don't ever let people make you do things that are gonna make you sabotage yourself. In the end, okay, always be in the position to assume control. Always be in the position to have control, to be always on your six, to be always on your six, to be always aware of where you're going, who you're associating with, where you're sitting, you know, what you're talking about. Is it productive or not? Is it informative or not? You know, for real though. For real though, I'm getting on my vibes for real. You know what I'm saying? Uh well, the things that I'm saying to you are not something that I'm guessing. There are things that I've anecdotally experienced myself. That when you start to peel off, certain layers of who you were made, maybe for example, to think you are, you become now in the position you become now in the position to do your things smoothly, to have your thinking cleared up. You know what I'm saying? You don't have anything that's unnecessary clogging anything up. You know, uh, because some of us, even including me, you know what I'm saying, we have the tendency of conforming. We have the tendency of doing things in most cases because we want people to approve of us, and that approval we want it to be immediate. That approval we want it to be immediate because we want it to be so immediate and so quick. We are quick now to do things that we think are gonna be appealing to us, when in actuality those things are just sabotage, my friends. And so yeah, man. Uh Yeah, man, that's it for now, bro. That's it for now. That's it for now. It's just a little, touch and go, when it comes to, certain topics and certain subjects. It's just a touch and go. It's just a touch and go, and yeah, for real. I know that there are other brothers and sisters that expound on subjects the way that I do, and they are even a bit better. I'd like to say that I respect them, and I'm never gonna be in the position to wanna use them as any form of clickbait because I'm just after chasing being myself online. I'm not after doing things that are trendy because I'm gonna get paid or because I'm gonna be famous. But yeah, man. Anyways, bro.
DFC's not bulls. Since a kid made moves. Who the bit coming now? Wow, style. Through the nose on the clown. Ain't no holes in the crowd. Not a real one around. Who gon' help when you drown? Know he lost but he brave. But don't know what he gave. Kinda off and strange. How you deal with your fame. Stayed away from the lanes. Ain't
None
got
of
for the
that.
game. Like
None of
a
that.
still a whole lot of Tell us that shit down. Tell me up then, bitch. Run it up then.
No, Sagarayasha. I'm gonna see you on the next one, bro. Thank you to everyone who joined this live. Quick shout out. Even though he was sort of rude, or she was sort of rude, kindly the second, Jessica Sandisiwe Maputse. Yeah, those were the only ones that were active on the chat. But for now, I'm gonna have to see you on the next one. You know what's going on though. Yup.